going on, family? Bless up! Theodore Helvevere, aka Big Teddy, back with ya. And so I just want to toss an amendment onto this episode. Because even though the name of the episode is Don't Know, if that's what you're into, get it. Get it with all your heart and soul. Make that neck strong. Go for gold. Okay. So the reason that title came about is because I was actually having a conversation last night, right? And what this episode is actually about is love, right? So 3 types of love. And in those types of love, the subgroups. So self-love, unconditional love, and conditional love, right? And the reason that the name of the episode came about was my response, or my general feeling at the end of the conversation was, I'm not to get loved. You feel me? Like, there are too many people out there that love me for who I am and what I am, that I'm not gonna bend over backwards and break my neck for someone to accept me that doesn't want to accept me or doesn't want to have love for me. Like, nah, I'm not even about that life. So let's jump into that, right? So a conversation that I always have, that I've been having for forever, is what you get, receive, do or don't receive at home is the basis for who you become as a person and how the rest of your life is shaped and what you learn to expect and desire and what becomes your normal, right? Self-love is definitely affected by that environment, right? And so we'll talk about the 2 different types of conditional love and the 2 different types of unconditional love, because those have an impact on your self-love, right? So, healthy unconditional love is my favorite type. That's no matter who you are, no matter what you believe in, no matter who you choose to be, I stand with you and I support you. Okay? I may not always agree with you. I may not always be able to ride with you. I may not always be able to co-sign, but I believe, love, and support you, and I understand that this is a part of your journey. Okay? That is born from a place of sincere self-worth, love for another individual. And the reason I say that and break that down like that is because they always say real love is when you want someone to be happy, whether you're a part of their life or not. If you can't be happy for someone because you're moving in different directions, then you don't necessarily care about them. You care more about the way they make you feel and the things they do for you. Unhealthy, unconditional love comes from a place of emptiness and hunger and need. So unhealthy, unconditional love is no matter what you do or who you choose to be or how you treat me or other people, I am going to love you. I will love you more than anything and everything for all of time, and nothing can ever touch that because I can't exist without you. I hunger for you. I need you. I am empty without you. You fill me. And this is a very real type of love and affection that people experience. And I won't say infatuation, because that type of bond can last an entire lifetime. So it is a form of love, an unconditional love, but it's not healthy, right? And so, bang, on the reverse, on the flip side of that, here are the healthy and unhealthy forms of conditional love. Healthy conditional love is, just because I love you does not mean you get to hurt me. Just because I love you does not mean you get to treat me any way you want to treat me. Just because I love you does not mean that I will take and suffer abuse and that I will always be here regardless of all of the negativity and hurtfulness and ill aspects of and effects that you have on my life and bring to my life because I love you. I love you doesn't mean you get to use and abuse me any way you choose to. That is healthy conditional love, okay? Unhealthy conditional love is, if you don't think the way I want you to think, you can't have my love. If you don't believe what I believe or what I want you to believe, you can't have my love. If you don't live a certain way or do a certain thing or be the person that I think you're supposed to be, you can't have my love. And I think that we have all, at some point in some phase in our lives, experienced each of these different types of love. And if you haven't experienced the negative ones, I'm super happy for you. And if they're all you've experienced, I'm sorry that that's your experience. This is an effort to help you realize and understand what those are so that you can grow and move towards something better and get away from those toxicities, right? And so those, from a very early age, have an effect on how you self-love, on where your sense of self-value and self-worth comes from, and how rich and strong those things are in you. And the reason that this conversation came up is because we were talking about being Afakasi, or being half caste. And not just that, but it also toxic parenting. So if you grow up and you get from the very beginning healthy unconditional love mixed with knowledge of self and self-acceptance, right? So this is saying, if from a young age your parents or caretaker or, care provider loves you unconditionally with no stipulations, you come up loving yourself. You have a profound sense of self, and you have a level of respect for yourself that keeps and prevents you from experiencing certain things later in life. And this is not 100% of the time, but let's say you're less likely to encounter them. So if you grow up in a home where you're always loved for who you are unconditionally, and you're encouraged and inspired to take pride in that individual, in that person, then later in life, you're less likely to allow an abusive person or a person with toxic and unhealthy types of love be a part of your life or do damage to your life. Whereas the flip side and the reverse of that is, if you grow up with conditional love, toxic conditional love, where you have to jump through hoops and be on display and always be a certain type of person in order to receive love and affection from your parents, then you grow up feeling unworthy. You grow up believing that you are unworthy. And I see this complex in so many people in my generation and age group, be they male or female, where there's that skepticism, that disbelief to, oh, so you really, so you think I'm intelligent and funny and attractive for no reason. You really think I'm an awesome person and you just want me to believe that I'm dope all of a sudden. No. Like, what do you want? Why do you like me? And like I've talked about, that can be very damaging and draining to the person that cares about you or loves you or likes you or is into you. Because a lesson I've learned the hard way is, when people truly believe something about themselves, you have to take them at their word. Because if you can't convince them otherwise, that's who they're going to choose to be. So if you think someone's awesome because you see all the awesome qualities in them, and they think they're a shitbag and that's all they see in themselves, they eventually are going to choose to be the shitbag they see themselves in. And so you have to step away from that situation, no matter how much you really may be in to a person, or how much value or worth or beautifulness you may see in them. If a person doesn't see their value, the value may not be there. And if it is, is not going to show up until they learn to identify it in themselves. And in this way, we create, destroy, break, and set the patterns and the tones of what our lives are going to be. And this is the impact that adults and parents and seniors have on our development, and so we go through these experiences, and because they weren't looked at in great detail when our parents were young, they don't necessarily understand the science behind it. And so when you're a black or brown person, or you come from an ethnic culture, tough love is quite often the only love on the menu. And when you, as a child, try and make an adult or someone else, and I'm telling you this so that we don't repeat these mistakes, but when you as a child try and speak to an adult and say, you've made me feel this way, I don't like this, it's not respected, it's not acknowledged. It's not acknowledged where you get well, my parent did this, and this is how I grew up, and this is just the way things are. So you get over it, it's fine. And then you got a complex, and then 20 years later, just niggas hate the way you live in life, and they're responsible for the way you live in life. Or the things that you chose to. I am very thankful and very grateful to have the sense of self-love and self-worth that I have, and that comes from a lot of different places. And I'm so lucky that I got so much of that for so long, because I didn't feel it for a very long time in my life. And it took the sincere and aggressive love of people to keep me stable and steady for a long time, and it wasn't enough because I was empty inside. And so before all of the outside love that I got could resonate, I had to learn again how to self-love, how to have self-value, how to have self-worth. And then once I got that, it tied everything together. And even coming from that situation and that dynamic, sometimes you have to lose things before you can appreciate them, right? And so 2014, which I say all the time and I've talked about in different levels, was the worst year of my life. But it really prepared me for things later, because I lost a lot of things that I thought were permanent parts of my life and my personality and just my oneness, my being. And I lost a lot of my self-worth and da-da-da. And so I'm fortunate because I'm in a situation where today I can look and say, this is what I'm worth. This is my value. This is what I give and share to the world around me. And on top of that, I look at the people that I love most in my life, and I look at why I love them, and I look at how we interact with each other, And I was just saying last night, perfect example, 2 of my best friends in Australia, right? The only 2 people that they really trust or depend on is each other. They have families that they love, but they're still each other's go-tos and each other's number ones. And they're best friends, but they're like sisters, right? And then because we all know men aren't really safe or trustworthy, there aren't a ton of dudes in their lives. And this gave me such a deep and intense and profound love and appreciation for the fact that they let me be a friend to them, and that they became true and sincere friends to me, and that they allow me to be a part of their lives. Because when you have 2 people who are quality individuals, quality always wants to be around quality. And you see these people that you have such respect and admiration for, and they're not willing to let just anyone into their lives. And on top of that, as a man, there's an added stigma there, because like I said, it's not always safe to be a woman or be a young woman around men. And to know how hard they went for me, that was life-changing and was really one of the dopest parts of my 2015. And so I look at them and I look at that and I say, these are two people that are good, amazing people that go hard for the people they love, and they went hard for me. These are my friends who don't have an abundance of men in their life that they really rock with, and they will wake up early on a work day or a weekday with all their normal responsibilities to pick me up and drop me off at the airport when I was going someplace and flying someplace or had something to do. Like the things that they teach me, that they taught me, the things that they showed me, the places they took me, they really, really made my Australian experience. And I honor that bond and that friendship with them so deeply. And I feel that way about so many of my friends in Sydney, which is funny because I hate Sydney, but I love my friends there. And so my homeboy who I stayed with for a while, like the love and dedication. I was like, yo, I need to jump off here. I need to do this. I need to go here first. And he was like, yeah, sure. Like, I digress. The point that I'm making is that I have at least maybe 4 to 5 pairings or groups or friendships of that quality in Sydney. And so when you spend an entire year or years of your life being loved unconditionally just for who you are, how do you accept anything less than that? How do you desire anything less than that? How do you have respect for anything less than that? You don't, and you shouldn't. That's the point that we're getting to. How do you go through every day of people doing and sharing and giving you unconditional love for no other reason than the way you treat them and the way you love them in return and just being a good person, and then go into a situation where someone thinks, well, no, you have to earn my affection. You have to earn my regard. No, deuces. More power to you. You have a good one. I am not earning shit by doing anything that I need differently than what I'm already doing. I'm already a great person. I am already a kind person. I'm already a loving person. If you need extra, if you need more than that, if you need subservience, if you need me to bow down in order to receive something from you that you think is so special, I can't get it somewhere else, you can keep that to yourself and enjoy yourself. That's part of a conversation we've already had. Anybody can get it. If anybody can get it and everybody is replaceable, why would you ever need to be dependent on love and affection from someone that doesn't treat you right? From someone or individuals that don't see your value and don't see your worth unless you're jumping through hoops. You don't. With one person, what any group of people won't do for you, won't share with you, won't give to you, the next person will. And I'm telling you sincerely, this is not just for me and who I choose to be. There are people out there for you that will love you for who you are. Nothing less and nothing more. With no stipulations, no catches. All you have to do is be yourself and be the awesome person that you have it in you to be, and they will love you for that alone. And in the same regard, there are people that will hate you for the way other people love you. And that's in response to people not giving you love, you know? So this conversation is about being mindful of the type of love you give and the type of love you receive. And the love we give has always to be the best and the highest quality and caliber, because what you give is what you get. The love you make is equal to the love you take. Okay? I believe in you. I believe in us. I believe in our ability to grow and get better and do and be more and achieve everything that we go after. And we are going to do that every single day. And we're going to do it together twice a week. Thank you for coming back. Keep coming back. We got this, family. Bless up. And just remember, you ain't got to suck no dick to get loved. More fire.